Your doctor just prescribed birth control for your perimenopausal symptoms, hot flashes, irregular periods, mood swing, and their solution? The same pill you may have taken in your 20s to prevent pregnancies. Here's what they didn't tell you. You're getting synthetic hormones at doses 3 to 4 times higher than your body actually needs. You're tanking your testosterone, destroying your libido, and setting yourself up for recovery that can take up to a year. Hey, I'm Dr. Rajka, your functional medicine MD. I'm talking about why birth control is the worst thing your OBGYN can prescribe for perimenopause and what you actually need instead. Look, I get it. Your cycles are all over the place. You're bleeding for weeks or skipping months. Hot flashes are interrupting your sleep and your work. You walk into your OBGYN's office desperate for relief and they hand you a prescription for birth control. It seems easy. It's covered by insurance and your doctor says it'll regulate your cycles. But what they're not telling you is that it's actually sabotaging your hormones. So let's break it down what birth control does. Problem number one is it's providing synthetic hormones. Synthetic estrogen, which is not the bioidentical estrogen your body recognizes. This is a chemically altered version that your body processes completely differently. Your ovaries make estradiol. Birth control most commonly contains estrogen in the form of ethinyl estradiol. These are not the same thing. Here's why that matters. Synthetic hormones don't fit your hormone receptors the same way. They create different metabolites. They increase inflammation and they come with side effects bioidentical hormones don't carry, like increased risk of blood clots, strokes, and even an increased risk in breast cancer. While these risks are small and more pronounced after 6 months of usage, they're usually not even discussed when that pill is prescribed. In perimenopause, your body's already struggling with fluctuating hormones. The last thing you need is synthetic versions that your body has to work overtime to process and eliminate. You're not estrogen deficient in perimenopause. You're likely progesterone deficient, but birth control doesn't give you what you actually need. The second problem is the dose birth controls were designed to deliver is huge because they need to shut down ovulation. That's what they were prescribed for. A typical birth control pill contains 20 to 35 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol, a much higher dose of estrogen than most perimenopausal women actually need. Not to mention, this estrogen exerts a much greater effect on the body due to its impact on the liver. You're getting birth control doses when what you need are perimenopausal doses. It's like using a fire hose when you need a garden hose. And here's the thing, in perimenopause, you're not trying to prevent ovulation. You're trying to support your declining ovarian function, smooth out the transition, and replace what you're losing. Birth control is the wrong tool for the job. It's too much, it's synthetic, and it's creating problems it was never designed to solve. The third problem, and this is critical, birth control pills contain progestin, not progesterone. Progestin is synthetic. It's designed to protect your uterine lining from the synthetic estrogen in the pill, but it doesn't do what your natural progesterone does in your body. Real progesterone is calming. It supports sleep. It protects your brain. It balances cortisol. It reduces anxiety. Progestin? None of that. In fact, many women feel more anxious, more irritable, and more depressed on progestins. Here's what most perimenopausal women actually need. Progesterone only. Your estrogen levels might be erratic, but they're often still in range. What takes first is progesterone because you're not ovulating regularly anymore. And when you don't ovulate, you don't make progesterone. That's why you have insomnia, anxiety, and heavy bleeding. You don't need more estrogen, you need progesterone to balance what you have. But birth control doesn't give you that. It gives you synthetic progestin paired with way too much synthetic estrogen. You're balancing nothing. You're overriding everything. The fourth problem is the birth control tanks your testosterone along with your sex drive. Birth control pills dramatically increase something called SHBG, or sex hormone binding globulin. This is a protein that binds to your sex hormones and makes them inactive. When SHBG goes up, your free testosterone, the testosterone that's actually available to your tissues, crashes. And what does testosterone do for women? It's responsible for your libido, your energy, your motivation, your muscle mass, and your overall sense of vitality. When your free testosterone tanks, so does your sex drive. And I'm not talking a little dip. I'm talking like gone. Like I can't even remember what it felt like to want to have sex. Here's the worst part. After you stop birth control, it can take a long time for testosterone levels to normalize. Clinically, I've seen it take up to 1 year for some women. So you go on the pill for perimenopause, but your libido disappears and you finally quit because you can't stand anymore and you have to wait a year to recover your testosterone. That's a year of no sex drive, no energy, no motivation while your SHBG levels slowly come back down. This isn't minor side effect, it's life altering. The fifth problem birth control causes is it depletes your B vitamins, especially B6, B12, and vitamin B9 or folate. These vitamins are critical for energy production, mood regulation, brain function, and methylation, the process your body uses to detoxify hormones, make your neurotransmitters, and repair DNA. When you're depleted in B vitamins, you feel exhausted, perhaps depressed, foggy, and anxious. Does this sound familiar? That's not perimenopause, that's your birth control. And because you're in perimenopause, you're already at higher risk for nutrient deficiencies. Your body needs more support, not less. But instead, you're put on a medication that drains the very nutrients your body needs to function. And then your symptoms get blamed on getting older. No, this is a nutrient depletion caused by synthetic hormones. So what should you be doing instead? Most perimenopausal women need progesterone, bioidentical or micronized progesterone, not progestin. This supports sleep, calms anxiety, reduces heavy bleeding, and protects your uterine lining without shutting down your ovaries or tanking your testosterone. Some women, especially later in perimenopause or early menopause, also need estrogen. But when you need it, you need bioidentical estradiol at physiologic doses, not synthetic ethinyl estradiol at birth control doses. You need hormones that match what your body makes. You need doses that support your body's natural rhythms, not overrides them. And you need a provider who understands the difference between contraception and hormone replacement. These are not the same thing. Birth control is designed to prevent pregnancy. Hormone replacement is designed to support your body through a natural transition. You're not 22 anymore. You don't need to shut down your ovaries. You need to support them as they slow down. Your OBGYN, what they're not telling you is going to hurt you. They were taught that birth control is safe, easy, one-size-fits-all solution for irregular cycles. They never mentioned the side effects, but you deserve better. You don't need a one-size-fits-all. You deserve a practitioner who understands where you may be deficient in, understands how to prescribe hormones in the correct manner and at the right dose. You deserve to keep your libido, your energy, and your mental clarity while you navigate this transition. And you deserve to know the truth about what you're putting in your body before you lose your year of your life waiting for your hormones to recover. If your doctor just prescribed birth control for perimenopause, I want you to ask these questions. Why synthetic hormones instead of bioidentical? Why birth control doses instead of perimenopause or menopausal doses? Why progestin instead of micronized progesterone? And what will this do to my testosterone? How long will it take my hormones or testosterone to recover when I stop? You have the right to ask, you have the right to understand, but ultimately you may need to find a functional medicine doctor who understands how and when to prescribe bioidentical hormones. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below. Share this with a friend who needs to hear it. And if you want to learn how to actually balance your hormones in perimenopause, subscribe, because that's exactly what we're doing here. I'm Dr. Rajka, and I'll see you in the next video.